Everybody, we're all here, full set, no apologies today. Can we approve the minutes of the 18th of February?
Agreed.
Okay. I haven't any announcements. There are no urgent items. Can I draw members' attention to item 5, declaration of interest? And then key decision reports. The West Yorkshire Partnership Foundation Trust, Michelle.
Yeah. Thanks, Denise. So we've been operating on an interim model with the Joint Partnership Trust since the expiration of the previous agreement in October 2024. So this is just a new memorandum of understanding, which is in Appendix 1, which outlines both the Council and South West Yorkshire Partnership Foundation Trust will retain its own responsibilities to manage and support staff, meet statutory duties, adopt evidence-based processes that can be quality assured and have the appropriate government arrangements in place to monitor and review these arrangements. So we're just asking to endorse option 2, which will support the Council's commitment to safeguarding vulnerable people living with mental health challenges and ensure the Council complies with its statutory duties under Section 117 of the Mental Health Act 1983 and the Care Act 2014. We have been operating in this way since the expiration is outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding. We have been adopting those new ways of working, so this is just formalising that between ourselves and the Trust.
Thanks, Michelle. Any comments, any questions? Are you okay with that? Can we agree the recommendation?
Agreed.
Thanks very much. Item 7, future catering provision, Councillor Shaw.
Yeah, there's one or two things that have come to light over the last couple of days, Leader, and because of that we want to get more focus on one or two things, so unfortunately at this stage I'll have to pull the report until we've got some further information to bring it back at a later date.
Okay, thanks very much. Item 8 is the corporate plan, Building a Fairer Future. The purpose of the report is to provide a progress on the period of July-December 24 and how the Council is delivering against its strategic priorities, outcomes and initiatives in the corporate plan. It sets out the progress that we're making. Building a Fairer Future is what the plan is all about, and we're focused doing this for everybody in our district. The rising cost of living has had a real profound impact on people right across our district and our communities. This has meant that they often need more support from us, placing greater demands on already stretched council services. Well, we all know about that. But despite this, we continue to deliver for the people who rely on us. And people do rely on us every day. People expect the council to be there for them, and we are. And we do all we can to do that, but it is getting more and more difficult. And we had our budget last week and we got the budget through, but it's not an easy budget, and if we don't get funding soon for local government, it's going to put us in a much more difficult situation. But we're committed to looking after people in our district, safeguarding people, vulnerable people and families, quality jobs, improving on our green spaces and minimising pollution and carbon emissions. So our plan sets out our future council and how we're modernising, and the decisions that we take are responsible and sustainable and fair. I don't know whether any council colleagues want to comment. Maureen?
Yes, very much in line with the Vital Signs report. I think it's an excellent report, and it does actually, you can open it at any page and it tells you some of the magnificent progress I think that the council's making, and I absolutely think the case studies within it are key to what we're actually delivering. That's people telling us that we're doing something and we're doing it right. And as I say, the two reports, this one and the Vital Signs report, move hand in glove for me. One feeds the other, and I do absolutely love the case studies, particularly, and I would say this, the one on pension credits and the absolutely wonderful campaign we ran at the back end of last year, and the difference we made to lots of pensioners out there. And it's lovely to see that one of them's actually come forward and said what difference it made to her life.
And that says it all.
Yeah.
And that's worth a lot when somebody actually comes forward.
Absolutely.
Because we get a lot of complaints, but when we've done something right and somebody, it really makes you feel it's worthwhile.
I think though in the grand scheme of things, and the complaints reports on here as well, there aren't that many complaints these days either.
No. But sometimes people just don't say anything.
Yep.
Anyone else? Margaret?
Yeah, I mean, wonderful work that's been done with this. And obviously, from my point of view, we want all our children across the district to have the best start in life and to achieve maximum benefits from schooling and to have happy and fulfilling childhood. We made some great progress against the corporate plan initiatives, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has been involved in delivering these initiatives. As a council, we've ensured 71% of our looked after children remain in in-house provision. This could be fostering, it could be with family, or it could be residential provision. But it provides stability and support to our young people and children. And in addition, Wakefield has achieved special guardianship orders for 19% of our looked after children, which compares to 18% with our statistical natures and only 11% at national level. So I'm pleased to report also that young people are being seen within seven weeks by the mental health support team. So there's an awful lot of work going on, and it's good to be able to see what's being achieved with it through the plan, and hopefully we can carry on and get even better.
Thanks, Margaret. Hannah?
Yes, in arts, culture and leisure, it's really fantastic to share some of the results really from our year. Over 200,000 people engaged in council-led events through 2024. We had over 1,000 community partner and council events together, working with community kind of partner organisations, and we had over 300 volunteers wanting to take part in that. So I think in terms of places to be proud and how we're kind of delivering for community in lots of different ways, I think it tells a really, really kind of positive story. Kind of blending kind of with Margaret's portfolio, over 5,000 young people have been supported through our works with the libraries, and we've been supporting creatives as well, over 80 people. So I just think that we're doing some really, really good work, and likewise that, you know, Lomate continue will build on it.
Thanks, Hannah. Matthew?
Yeah, from my area, we're moving forward with the parking strategy and the transport strategy that means so much for everybody across the district. It's something that comes upon our doorsteps and our conversations. But I'm also pleased that we're looking at the local plan and the previous local plans in this as well. And that when we look back over the last local plan, we're not far away from the targets that we set ourselves. We've delivered, as we always do. I know it's not always the most popular thing with housing, but we delivered for West Yorkshire, where some of our neighbours are completely way behind us. And at the end of the day, there is an housing crisis, and we need these much needed homes in our district and elsewhere. So I'm really pleased we've got that on there.
Thanks, Matthew. Michelle?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a really good report. I think we sit here often and we're looking at things, and you know, we admit that we don't always get everything right, but looking at some of the things that we have done in here, I think it's really positive. So if you just look in my area, we've had over 1,700 older residents engaged in Silver Sunday and Harvest events last autumn. We had 9 care homes and 112 residents engaged in Wellbeing Wonders projects, in 58 of those projects in physical activity, arts and culture sessions, which is really positive. We all know sort of health and wellbeing. And one thing that I'm particularly proud of is that our Wakefield Carers Quality of Life score was the best in Yorkshire and Humber region. And it is one of the measures under the Adult Social Care Outcomes Framework that's used to measure and assess performance of our social care services. So it measures all the different outcomes, but it just demonstrates being the best in our region, the strong commitment that we have in our position for our unpaid carers. And I think that's something that we should celebrate, because we know they do a tremendous job in keeping people at home as long as they can, and in maximising that independence, and I just think it's worth highlighting.
Thanks, Michelle. Les?
Yeah, I think this time of the year we all, us included, we all get wrapped up in the budget, finance and all that side of it, and we all look at the problems we've got. You see it on news about how councils are struggling, council tax goes up and that. And then when I read these 2 reports, the vital signs as well, and actually look at what this council delivers, and I'm going to use the word delivers, because we do deliver what's in here. When we look at what we deliver right across the spectrum of people's lives, Maureen's highlighted it, everybody around here's highlighted it. And we forget that. We forget how important it is that we get the funding in to do the sort of things that we need to do as a council. And I just think pushing some of these reports out there, and these are positive, and I'll tell you why they're positive, because they're happening. They're affecting people's lives right across the spectrum. So I really welcome the reports. I think they're well written. I think they're good reports, and we shouldn't be shy in pushing these forward.
No, you're quite right. I don't think we shout enough about the good stuff we do, and we worry too much about other things, and we don't get the potential out for the public, really. Okay, Jack.
Thanks, Denise. Yeah, I agree fully, and I think there are so many positives in here. I mean, I look at my area as well in terms of the tree planting. We've done 25,000 trees gone in this year, working with libraries, 4,000 trees given away as part of the free tree giveaway for residents' gardens, air quality improving and now below all the legal minimum thresholds. There's some really good stuff here that the council's been doing, but also this is important because it allows residents to monitor the council's performance. These reports aren't just glossy things to go on shelves. This is so any resident of this district can look online, find an area that they're interested in, see how we're performing on bins, parks, any aspect of the myriad council services you've alluded to, Les, and say, oh, my council's doing well or it's not doing well, and then they can hold us to account as elected members. So this is an important part of our democratic process as far as I'm concerned, and it's good that we're doing well in so many areas.
Michael.
Yeah, I'll quickly say about Regen, massively happy that adult education got good with outstanding. I think that's the highlight for me in this, but so much good work going on across markets and the whole piece. And a really exciting time, I think, for physical regeneration with us joining Muse as our strategic partner. There's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of spades in the ground across the district, so we're excited to get on with that. So it should be a really good few years coming up.
Okay, thanks everybody. The recommendations are set out in 2.1 to 2.3. But can we agree the report?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. And the item 9 is the financial health report. Obviously the purpose of this report is to inform Cabinet of the financial health of the authority. Well, we only had the budget last week, but just to mention previously, we continue to experience challenges and demands for key services increasing, and the report sets out a potential underspend of just under 7 million. It does say an overspend, but it is an underspend. And this is positive because there continues to be a reduction in the overspend, which was previously forecast to be 8.2 million at the end of December. And this reduction reflects the robust steps that the Council are taking to reduce this overspend as much as we can. These steps include reducing discretionary spending, enhanced vacancy management, and managing some of our service budgets differently. Further details are set out in section 3.9 of the report, and the director dashboards are included on appendix 2 of the report. I ask that we note the financial situation as set out in the report. Is there any questions? Anybody happy with that? Okay, thank you. And then item 10 is is again, as we've said, the report matches with the corporate plan Building a Fairer Future. This is the vital signs, and I'm pleased to share the vital signs performance report with you today that covers the quarter from July to September. It's important that we manage our performance and use our resources efficiently, delivering against our priorities to provide value for money for our residents and businesses. And you'll see from the report that we set out how we manage and monitor our performance through our performance management framework. I'm really pleased that we've made some positive progress in some areas. However, I want to highlight again that these are challenging times and we're facing significant budget pressures, increasing demand and a cost of living crisis. Well, we all know that, but it's as well to keep saying that so that it focuses on really how serious the situation is and how things are going in at the moment. I don't feel things are going in the right way for residents with some of the initiatives that the government probably are announcing today, which will affect residents in our area. And again, it is a real concern for the vulnerable people in our district, and we shall have to step up and do what we can to help and alleviate some of these issues. Any questions on the report? Okay. Can we agree the report?
Agreed.
Thanks very much. Margaret, Children and Young People's Plan.
Yes, thank you, Leader. I'm bringing this to Cabinet to consider and endorse the Children and Young People's District Plan for 2025-28, so that it can then be taken on to full council for agreement there. As it says in the report, the current Children and Young People's District Plan ends in 2025, so we needed to look again and develop a new one. As with the previous plan, children and young people have been at the centre of creating the plan, which aims to ensure the ideas and views of children and young people are centre of all the council and partner work priorities. On agenda page 2561.5, this explains how and why we engage directly with children and young people to understand what it is like to live and grow up in Wakefield district. And out of that engagement, we now have 4 new ambitions that our children and young people have identified. Our safety and feeling love, our health, our education and our future. Further details of these ambitions are on agenda page 259, section 9. So I'd like to recommend 2.1 on the paper and ask Cabinet to accept this plan to move forward to full council.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Margaret. Any comments, any questions? We all happy with that? Thanks very much, Margaret, for that report. If we agree with that then, thank you. And then the annual complaints and compliments. Let's hope there are lots of compliments.
There are, actually. I'm pleased to bring forward the annual complaints and compliments report. I'm glad the compliment bit's in Leader. The Council is committed to being open and accountable, listening to views of residents and communities and placing them at the heart of our services. As a mature organisation, complaints shouldn't be seen as a threat, but as a resource to learn and improve. Complaints are a rich source of information and an indication on how things really are for the residents of our district. Their values to the organisation should be recognised and used to inform our continuous improvement. Customer feedback received through formal complaints and the way that we respond to them are vital indicators of overall performance of the Council. Each year we deliver over 100 services to over 350,000 residents. This goes back to some of the things we've just been talking about. This includes the delivery of 1,700 statutory duties across a variety of services. So as you can imagine, there are thousands of different customer interactions each year. We collectively aim to deliver good quality services and always strive to get things right the first time. But where this does not happen, we attempt to rectify the situation as soon as possible. This involves offering an appropriate resolution for customers at the earliest opportunity. The complaints policy provides the framework to handle, respond to and learn from complaints in a clear and consistent way. Most complaints received continue to be satisfactorily remedied by an apology, and those complaints with an upheld or partially upheld outcome bring along an opportunity for services to learn and to improve and develop and remove any barriers which have prevented equal access to a service. This is an approach supported by the Local Government and Social Care Ombudsman. The Complaints and Compliments report is appended to the covering report, which summarises the key headline in paragraph 3.9 and then in paragraphs 3.10 and 3.12 summarise the key headlines from different parts of complaint process, be it a corporate complaint, children's social care complaints, alongside adult social care complaints. If I could also draw your attention to another important element of the report, the 449 compliments, which are important, received by the council. We will, of course, have received more expressions of good service throughout the year. This total only reflects the compliments received into the escalator contact team. A new compliments form has been introduced by the escalator contact team, and going forward this will enable compliments to be recorded directly onto the CRM system. Finally, work will commence on the 2024-25 complaints and compliments report following receipt of the Local Government and Social Care Ombudsman annual letter, which is usually received over the summer. With that, move my report.
Thanks very much, Liz. Anybody want to comment? Are we all? Michelle?
Thanks, Denise. Yeah, I think it's really positive, actually, if we look at how many compliments we've received. I think Leslie's right. We shouldn't be scared of receiving complaints, because actually that's how we improve our services. We're not sort of in a culture where you shouldn't be able to tell us that something's not right for us to be able to address it, and I think moving forward we very much are all on that page. We'll all know from anything we do in life how much easier it is to physically make the space to make a complaint, because actually you're really aggrieved by something, and it's almost like you make time specifically for making complaints. I think if we ask ourselves how often do many of us give compliments, and I think it's probably less than we do leave negative reviews and stuff, so the fact that 449 people have gone out of their way to tell us that we are doing something good as a council should be celebrated, and well done to everybody that's been involved in that.
No, you're right. I think that's really true. And you know, sometimes, as I say, we don't always think that people are going to compliment us, and we're a bit stunned when they do. But we should embrace that and hope that it happens more often. Can we agree the report? Thanks for that, Liz. Can you all just sit still a minute?